Imagine standing at the center of a violent storm. Winds tear at the trees, waves crash against rocks, people around you scream, run, collapse. But you remain still, calm, rooted like an ancient mountain. Not because the storm is weak, but because you are strong. This isn't fantasy. It's the potential Nietzsche saw in every human being, the ability to become mentally unshakable, not by avoiding pain, not by numbing yourself, but by mastering the very forces that once controlled you. Today, we dive into Nietzsche's secret method for forging an unbreakable mind. Not through toxic positivity, not through pretending life doesn't hurt, but through radical acceptance, fierce self-honesty, and the daily practice of self-overcoming. You will learn why fear doesn't mean weakness and how to transform it, why suffering is the greatest forge of the soul, how to turn every setback into fuel, how to love your fate so deeply that nothing can shatter you. This isn't motivation. This is mental alchemy. Let's begin. Why the strongest minds still feel fear. Strength isn't the absence of fear. It's the mastery of it. Every soul who ever accomplished anything felt fear. Nietzsche himself battled despair, isolation, rejection. But he understood courage isn't about feeling invincible. It's about acting with full awareness of your fear. Imagine walking across a narrow bridge over a canyon. Your heart races. Your mind screams, your body trembles. Strength isn't pretending you don't feel fear. Strength is taking the next step anyway. Nietzsche knew that modern culture teaches emotional fragility by confusing discomfort with danger. But discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is growth in disguise. Every time you sit with fear, breathe through it, act despite it. You rewire your nervous system. You teach your mind, I am bigger than this. And little by little, the storm stops shaking you. Not because the storms stop, but because you rise. The hidden gift of suffering, Nietzsche's view. Nietzsche said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." It's one of the most quoted and most misunderstood statements in philosophy. He didn't mean suffering automatically strengthens you. He meant that suffering gives you an invitation to collapse into victimhood or to rise into mastery. Pain cracks you open, loss strips you bare, failure humbles your ego. And in that brokenness, you see the illusions you clung to, the false identities you wore, the external validations you depended on. You see your real self, raw, unfiltered, alive. Suffering cleanses, not through cruelty but through clarity. When everything else falls away, what remains is real. That's why Nietzsche believed that heroes are not born. They are forged, in fire. Not the fire of fame, not the fire of comfort, the fire of pain, endured and transcended. You cannot bypass this. You cannot think your way around it. You must walk through it. But on the other side, freedom, strength, unshakable peace. Amor Fati, loving your fate. Nietzsche's radical solution to suffering wasn't endurance. It was love. Amor Fati, love of fate, not tolerating what happens, not surviving it. Loving it. Loving the heartbreak that woke you up. Loving the betrayal that taught you boundaries. Loving the failure that shattered your false identity. Why? Because everything you are becoming is being carved by life's hands. Even the painful parts. Imagine saying, "I do not wish it were different. I bless it. I use it. I become more because of it." This is Amor Fati. It's the death of resentment, the death of victimhood, the birth of inner invincibility. When you love your fate, you become fearless. Not because life is easy, but because nothing can be taken from you that you haven't already alchemized into gold. This is mental sovereignty. This is emotional immortality. This is Amor Fati. And it's available to you right now if you dare. Signs you're still fragile mentally. How do you know if you're still vulnerable to the chaos of life? Here are signs. You crave constant validation. If one text, one comment, one look can change your mood, you're still externally anchored. You fear rejection more than dishonesty. You'd rather be liked than respected. You avoid conflict at the cost of truth. You betray yourself to keep the peace. You overthink silence. When someone pulls away, your mind fills with stories instead of staying centered. You collapse after failure. Instead of using it as information, you use it as self-condemnation. These aren't judgments, they're mirrors. Nietzsche would say, good. Now you see where your work is. Awareness is the first cut of freedom. You cannot strengthen what you won't acknowledge. And now you see. If this content is making sense to you, then click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. The will to power, Nietzsche's core secret. At the core of Nietzsche's philosophy is the will to power. It's not the will to dominate others. It's the will to overcome yourself, to expand your capacity, to ascend your previous limitations. It's the force inside you that wants more, not more possessions, but more strength, more clarity, more vitality. Every time you push beyond a fear, sit with discomfort instead of reacting, speak your truth despite the risk, choose growth over comfort, you are enacting your will to power. Nietzsche believed that the strongest individuals aren't the ones who control others. They are the ones who master their own instincts, urges, and fears. You don't need permission. You don't need ideal circumstances. You need will, the decision to rise. And every time you choose to overcome instead of collapse, you feed the fire. You sharpen the blade. You become unshakable. Self-overcoming Nietzsche's true greatness. Nietzsche wrote, "Man is a rope stretched between the animal and the Superman, a rope over an abyss. You are not finished. You are becoming. And the true battle isn't against others. It's against your own smallness, your laziness, your excuses, your attachment to comfort. Self-overcoming is the daily, sacred war against the versions of you that no longer serve. Every time you resist the temptation to numb out, choose discipline over indulgence, forgive instead of resent, stand tall after falling. You're not just surviving. You're transcending. You are crossing the abyss. You are becoming the new self. Self-overcoming is never finished. There's no graduation. But every day you fight the right battles, you become harder to break. And eventually, nothing external can defeat you, because you have conquered the true enemy yourself. Daily mental alchemy rituals. Here's how you practice mental alchemy. The art of turning every experience, good or bad, into fuel for your power. 1. Morning fortification. Upon waking, remind yourself today, nothing will dictate my worth except my own will. Anchor your sovereignty first. 2. Discomfort as compass. Every time you feel resistance, lean in. Speak when you want to stay silent. Act when you want to hesitate. Courage grows by being exercised. 3. Evening inventory. Each night journal, where did I shrink? Where did I rise? Where can I sharpen tomorrow, not with shame, with clarity? 4. Conscious reframing. When setbacks happen, immediately ask, how is this sharpening me? Every obstacle is material for your evolution. Zanku solitude practice. Spend time alone without distraction. Listen for the voice beneath fear, the voice of your true self. These rituals aren't chores. They are how you become unbreakable. They are how you forge the mind. Nietzsche spoke of a mind that loves fate. That transcends fear. That stands unshaken. How to remain unshakable under attack. Life will test you. People will misunderstand you, betray you, mock you, dismiss you. Good. Every attack is another chance to practice mental sovereignty. Here's how. Expect tests, not in paranoia, but in preparedness. Choose silence. Not every insult deserves your energy. Respond from center, not ego. Breathe before acting, let reaction pass. Choose aligned action. Withdraw when necessary. Energy is precious, don't waste it proving yourself. Remember, the more you know yourself, the less you need to defend yourself. The storm can howl, but you remain, unmoved, unbroken, alive. Freedom beyond praise and blame. The final freedom Nietzsche spoke of isn't power over others. It's power over your own value system. You no longer rise and fall with praise. You no longer shrink from blame. You stop outsourcing your worth to the fickle opinions of the world. You reclaim it fully, finally. Imagine doing great work and not caring whether you're applauded. Imagine standing in truth and not crumbling under criticism. Imagine living so deeply anchored in your own self-respect that the noise of the world feels distant. That's real freedom, and it's yours if you choose it. So here you stand, not at the end, at the beginning of true strength. Strength that doesn't flex for applause, strength that doesn't shatter under silence, strength that doesn't beg for approval or fear rejection, strength that simply is, because you have built it. This is the Nietzschean path, a path of self-overcoming, sovereignty, mental invincibility. You are not the storm, you are the mountain, but the journey continues. Because next we return to the wisdom of Carl Jung, where we explore the truth that has been haunting you all along. You were never the problem. All the shame, all the self-blame, all the wounds you thought were your fault. They were never your identity. They were never your limit. In the next chapter, you'll see yourself clearly, maybe for the first time. Next video, you were never the problem, Carl Jung. Keep watching. Depthoria is just beginning.